Hey everybody, this is Mike, and I'm going to show you how you can use trending to build competitive cash and tournament lineups. So we're looking back at last night's slate, and this is going to allow us to learn a little bit about how we can use trending to build these lineups, but also strategies that we may want to consider, whether it's stacking or you're using minimum salary and things like that. So we're looking at this 4-game slate. So not as many players available with a limited amount of games. So we're going to bring the minimum salary down to about 4,500 to allow us to just see all different lineup combinations with the limited player pool. We're going to first pop open trending. So the steps to using trending to find a competitive core. First thing, you're going to want to just look for the huge trending indicators. So right when we come in here, you can see that at pitcher, Trevor Cahill, 4.5K. The interest is super high for him, and that's somebody we're just going to want to lock in right off the bat, especially for a cash lineup. You don't want to ignore that high interest. Similarly, at hitter, Cody Bellinger, like playing really well recently, and the interest is through the roof. So add him in as well. Easy enough. The second thing we're going to do here is search for the trending stacks. So we're looking at the player pool here, what teams are popping out in terms of hitters that we can potentially stack. And you can see that the Dodgers are far and away the top option. So let's go ahead and stack the Dodgers. And this being that we're building for a cash game first, we're going to want to just keep it limited to 4 players, 3-4 players, and we'll do 4 here because we're seeing these 4 at the top. We go ahead and do that, and you'll see that we have a few Dodgers in this top lineup here. Let's go ahead and lock these top guys here to make sure we get these involved. Now, if we're checking on we'll want to check on the games page to see which hitters we've gone ahead and added. So we've got the 1, 2, 3, 4 hitter and the 7 hitter. So that's something to take note of. Additionally, you can see that amongst hitters, Oakland would be a potential double stack candidate, and I think if we're building for tournaments, that's going to be sort of the chalky double stack. However, since we're doing this for cash, let's just keep this out of 1 stack and allow the rest of these slots to be filled out by players from different teams so we can have a little bit of diversity. The last thing we're going to do here is fill the gaps with some top players that we can find in quick pick. So you can see we have some slots at first base, second base, and outfield. What we're going to do here is head over to the hitter section. Since we're looking for cash, we don't want anybody past the 6 hitter, so anybody's 1 through 6 in the batting order. And then I want to focus on these WOBA sliders. So for hitter WOBA, we definitely want players who are going to have high hitting metrics, and then we want them also to be facing a pitcher who isn't doing that well against that same hand. So we've gone and moved some of these indicators along. You can see we've already shrunk the player pool down to 10 players, which is pretty tight, and we can choose from this group. First thing I'm seeing here, and I'll look for this a lot, is there anybody from that team we're stacking that I'm leaving out? And Jock Pederson is one right here with some high value, all the metrics looking really good for him. So instead of Yasmani Grandal at catcher, I'm going to see if we can add him in. So we'll favor him initially and look at the games to just see where he is in the lineup, and you'll see we can get the 1 to 5 hitters all together with Pederson instead of Grandal. So let's do that, because now we have all of the 1 to 5 hitters. That'll allow us to just have all of the scoring that's involved at the top of the order. simple enough. And then we'll head back into Quick Pick to see if there's anybody else we would like to add. I think in looking at this from a GPP perspective, you shrunk this player pool down to 10. Now to be a little different from the pack, looking towards the bottom of this list in terms of the different metrics that are outstanding, you can see somebody like Luis Valbuena, who is mid-price, but the value isn't high here from RotoQL projection, and the pitching WOBA especially is lower, so I don't think as many people are going to be interested in the Chris Davises and Luis Valbuenas of the world. So that might be somebody you want to add in for a GPP. It could be a little different, and you can get some points that's outside of the norm. So when looking at this lineup now, you can see that it performed really well, very, very cash competitive. 125 is going to get you cash all across the board in DraftKings contests. And then initially, you can see that Valbuena, who we added in for GPP purposes, is right there at 19 points. He had a huge night. So for a small slate tournament, I think that this lineup would certainly be competitive, have a chance in there. And it filled out with Alex Wood as well via the optimizer, and he had a great game with 35 points. So this is how you can use trending and Quick Pick to build cash lineups and tournament lineups and be really competitive.